This lemony chickpea soup is the perfect summer lunch or dinner. It's got 3 types of lemon in it. First the zest, then preserved lemon, and finally some lemon juice. It's bright, full of flavour, and incredibly nutritious. Now a good soup of course needs a delicious topping, so we're going to roast some courgettes in harissa paste and make a really easy green olive tapenade. Before we start the lemony soup, I'm going to get the courgettes or zucchinis roasting, cut them into fairly large chunks, and then cut slits about 3/4 of the way down the courgette for a sort of Hasselback effect. This will help the seasoning get all the way through the courgette. Add them to a bowl, and then we're going to drizzle over some extra virgin olive oil. We're going to add a good dollop of harissa to these courgettes. Harissa being a hot chili paste. It's made from roasted dried chili peppers, and it is really smoky and really delicious. It's got a good kick to it, slightly tangy. It's also got some garlic, some vinegar in there. Definitely get yourself a jar of this. Spoon in as much harissa as you like. It's a little bit spicy, so adjust for your taste. And then we're going to sprinkle in some za'atar. We're going to zest in 1 clove of garlic, and we're going to season it with a good pinch of salt and pepper. You could mix this with a spoon, but I find using a hand is best for getting an even coverage of all the delicious flavourings over the courgettes. Pour them onto a baking tray and roast for about 15 minutes, turning halfway through until they're caramelised or even slightly charred. Next we'll prepare the soup ingredients, starting with 1 white onion and a couple of sticks of celery just finely diced. I love using celery or fennel for summery soups as they have a lovely floral and vibrant flavour. Then I've got some wet garlic or young garlic. This is garlic that's been harvested before it's fully mature and dry. It's not so strong, so I'm going to use half a bowl. If using regular garlic, you can use about 2 to 3 cloves. Next I've got some oregano from the garden. We've had a really beautiful hot spring, so the oregano and marjoram is abundant at the moment, so I'm basically adding it to everything that I cook. Now for the first stage of the lemon, which is going to be the peel. When cooking summery stews, you can add the peel whole, and if you cook it long enough, it'll go soft and the flavour will impart into the dish. Or, in this case, I'm going to finely slice it, and it's going to add a lovely flavour to this soup. Later in the video, I'm going to make a herby green olive tapenade, so I'm going to make use of the stalks from these herbs and just chop them down and cook them in the soup. The second stage of making the soup the lemoniest and freshest soup you've ever had is going to be some preserved lemon. It's tangy and tart, and we're simply going to remove the seeds and either finely slice or chop. If you can't find preserved lemon, don't worry, the peel and the juice of the lemon will be perfectly adequate. The courgettes are now roasted, so I'm just going to brush a little bit more harissa mixed with olive oil over them to give them some extra colour and an extra kick of heat from that harissa. Now we can start this delicious lemony chickpea soup by heating up a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I love cooking with olive oil, but if you prefer not to, or you're watching your calories, then feel free to use some water or veggie stock here. Add in the lemon peel and fry for a few minutes or until it starts to curl up and go light brown in some places. Then add in the herb stalks, the onion and the celery. You can also add in some dried or fresh thyme if you have it here. Cook this down for 8 to 10 minutes with a pinch of salt. Placing a lid on top can help speed up this process by trapping in the heat. So once the onion and celery is starting to go almost translucent, you can add in the garlic, the fresh oregano and the preserved lemon. We can now add in our first can of chickpeas, and we'll be using this to thicken the soup. Using a potato masher, just crush the chickpeas into a rough paste. This is going to release the starches from the chickpeas and give the soup a lovely creamy, thick texture once cooked. Then add in the second can, which we're going to leave whole, and the vegetable stock. Although this is a summery light soup, I still want it to be comforting and moreish, so I'm going to add some white miso for the sort of umami, salty flavour, and then some nutritional yeast for the sort of savoury and nutty flavour that it's going to give the soup. Add in the miso and the nutritional yeast. Personally, I love seasoning dishes with miso or soy sauce instead of salt, as it adds an incredible depth of flavour, which you wouldn't get from just adding salt. Stir in and season with a good grating of pepper. Lemon and pepper is a really lovely combination. They complement each other really well. Then just pop a lid on and let it simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes or until it's starting to thicken and the flavours are sort of coming together. While that's cooking, we're going to make a quick green olive tapenade. I'm going to use half a large clove of garlic and I'm just going to bash it into a paste with a pinch of salt. This won't take any time at all. Then add in your fresh herbs. I'm using basil and parsley. We're just going to bash it into a rough paste again. Next, the green olives. Of course, any olives will do, but green I find have a nice robust, juicy texture and a light fruity flavour, which pairs perfectly with this lemony soup. Once again, bash into a rustic paste. We're also going to add a dash of vinegar, some olive oil, and we're just going to mix to combine with some fresh black pepper as well. No need for salt as the olives are fairly salty. And there is your delicious green olive tapenade. No need to mess with a food processor. You'll get a lovely consistency using just a pestle and mortar. The soup's nearly ready now. We're just going to adjust the seasoning. I wanted more black pepper and some more savoury goodness from the nutritional yeast. We'll then add the final lemon element, which is going to be some lemon juice, which will add a lovely fresh kick of lemon to the final dish. Finally, we're going to add a few good handfuls of spinach and just let that wilt into the soup. Spinach is high in iron, and then the vitamin C from the lemon is going to help you absorb it, so it's really a match made in heaven. Now all that's left to do is serve up your delicious lemony soup with your roasted smoky harissa courgettes and the tangy olive tapenade. Recently, I've started having larger lunches and then a nice light dish such as this one for dinner, as I find I sleep so much better. This one's great to try in summer when you're not wanting such heavy meals. And of course, I'm going to finish it off with a little drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. I find the bitter fruitiness pairs perfectly with the lemoniness in this soup, and I did just buy a 5-litre container, so I'm not running out anytime soon. That's gorgeous. So good. It's definitely a lemony. I really love these smoky harissa roasted courgettes. They go lovely with the lemoniness. And then you've got the tang and herbiness coming from that olive tapenade. Absolutely delicious. Give it a go and let me know what you think. Thank you for watching today's video. For another incredibly delicious soup recipe, check out this video.